Hello, everyone, again. So thank you so much for joining us in the session number 9 of Pitch Deck Mastery Sessions with SIRE. Uh, Today we have Mohammad Vashahi, CEO of Tooloo, and two esteemed judges, Sabina and Yanky. The reason of having these events that we usually have at the summit or bigger events, it's happening every 6 months, and we are planning to have a pitch deck competition in the next one. The next event will be happening on, let me go to this page. The next event of our Summit 4 will be happening on October 19th in the Fairview Theater. We had the third one in the same place of Fairview Theater in North area. It is on Sunday, and I wonder if you could join us if you don't have any family restriction on weekends. As I told, the reason of having these online pitch deck mastery sessions is to get people prepared for this competition happening in this event. In this event, or summit number 4, we will have pitch deck competition, keynote speeches, and panels of people from incubators, from investors, and so on. The link for registration is given here. I wonder if you could join, and we give a discount to our SIRE members as well. So I will share the link of the registration on the chat box today for you. Before we start Mohammad's presentation, I wonder if Sabina and Yanky, our judges for today, introduce yourself first, and then Mohammad, you start presentation. Once your presentation is done, our judges will give you feedback, and if we have time, the other participants, attendees will give you feedback, ask their questions. Okay, Sabina, Yanky, whoever wants to start introducing yourself.
Sure, I can start. My name is Sabina Simmonds. I am the managing director for Deckley. We are a studio in Toronto, and we specialize specifically in this. We help with both strategy and design for up and coming founders and startups who are looking to really communicate sometimes complex ideas and really make them a little bit more digestible for an investor's ear. So excited to hear your pitch, Mohammed. You're a very brave guy, because it takes a lot of guts to kind of be able to present something and get it, judged like this live. So kudos to you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Yanky Lee. I am an advisor and entrepreneurship growth coach for some of the innovation centers around the Greater Toronto area. Previous to that, I built my own AI and tech company in the real estate space, and since have exited that company. Before that, I was at a fintech unicorn in Toronto, helping it become the unicorn that it is today. My background's actually in finance and accounting. I'm a full CPA. That's a little bit about me. That's it.
Yeah. Thank you, Sabina. Thank you, Yanky, for the great introduction. Mohammad, go ahead.
Thank you. I'm going to share my screen.
Sorry, just a quick question before we jump into the presentation. In terms of the format of, do we want to go through each slide and then have a moment for feedback, or how do you usually do this?
Usually they finish their presentation, and you are supposed to finish it in 10 to 12 minutes if it doesn't take longer. And after the presentation, you give your feedback to them.
Got it.
Okay. Thank you. Mohammed, go.
Okay, do you have my screen share?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you all for joining us for this presentation. I am Mohammad Vashahi, co-founder and CEO of Tooloo. In the beginning, let's take a general look at our business. Our industry is solar energy, specifically concentrated solar power. We started developing our idea in 2019 and officially founded Tooloo in Canada in early 2024. Our product is a new type of solar collector designed to provide clean heat. Our mission is to decarbonize North American industries. We envision becoming an international leader in the expansion of solar utilization around the world. And at Tooloo, we value innovation, sustainability, and ecosystem preservation. Despite advancement in renewable energy, 80% of thermal energy in industries still comes from fossil fuels. This reliance is largely due to the inefficiency of current technologies such as photovoltaic panels and concentrated solar power, which have not been compelling enough for industry leaders to transition away from fossil fuels. But when it comes to electricity generation, solar panels are quite cost effective during the day. However, the challenge of electricity production at night remains unsolved, and the living costs depend on traditional fossil fuel based power plants. Our solution is a new type of solar collector developed in Tooloo. It is simple to manufacture and operate and significantly reduce the cost of harnessing solar energy. This collector is highly efficient, utilizing spot concentration to harness thermal energy across a wide range of industries, even at extremely high temperatures of up to 1000 degrees Celsius. Our product is also very scalable and modular, allowing it to be used in various applications from small industries and residential heating systems to larger scale power plants. This flexibility sets it apart from current technologies like solar power tower, which are primarily justifiable only for larger scales. Let's take a closer look at our product, Tooloo. It consists of four main components. Concentrator, this can be either a Fresnel lens or a parabolic dish. A linear actuator, this part is responsible for the rotational movement. A dual receiver, this component provides the output thermal energy, and our innovative tracking mechanism. This exclusive mechanism is currently patent pending and is unique to Tooloo. Together, these elements work seamlessly to deliver low-cost, clean heat. The energy market in North America is enormous. The value of thermal energy consumed in industries exceeds 450 billion per year. Additionally, the market for energy devices such as boilers and furnaces is substantial, with valuation of over 25 billion annually. In residential sector, the market is valued at approximately 340 billion per year, while the market for water and space heaters alone is around 14 billion annually. And as you can see, the market is still dominated by fossil fuels. We have divided our target market into three phases. In the short term, we are focusing on small and medium-sized industries that rely on fossil fuels, such as the food and beverage industries, chemical processing, and abattoirs. In the midterm, we will target the residential sector, customizing our product for residential use for space and water heating. And in the long term, we will aim for larger scale industries, including petrochemical companies, oil and gas, as well as the power sector. In the industrial sector, our marketing strategy focuses on showcasing our technology at exhibitions. We invite industrial managers and decision makers to our pilot plant to demonstrate how they can benefit from our technology. And for the residential sector, we plan to utilize social media and digital marketing to connect with our customers more. Well, in this slide, we present the market benchmarks, highlighting some of the most recognized companies in the industry that utilize various technologies in concentrated solar power. For instance, Abengoa in Spain employs both parabolic trough collectors and solar power tower systems. We also provide the estimated values of these companies to give a clear understanding of their size in this market. Our company's competitive advantage lies in our unique technology, specifically our innovative solar tracking system. The system ensures higher efficiency and reduced operational and manufacturing costs, and positions us as a game changer in this industry. We have developed our technology and are now ready to take the next step, launching an industrial pilot plant. This pilot plant serves two main purposes. First, it will allow us to gather real technical and financial data on an industrial scale, enabling us to provide accurate quotations and proposals to industries. Second, we plan to use the pilot as marketing campaigns to invite industry leaders to come and closely observe our technology. And to achieve this, we plan to raise approximately $650,000 to upgrade our technology to TRL 8 and making it ready for commercialization. Please meet the team. Ahmed Chandaz is our operations manager and oversees manufacturing and supply chain. And Amin Zarbash is our financial manager who handles budgeting and investment affairs. Thank you very much for your time and watching us. Please ask any question you may have.
Thank you, Mohammad. So Sabina, Yanky, please go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. I can kind of start off. So I think you did a great job, Mohammed. You seem to really know what it is that you're trying to communicate. My my key kind of qualms with the presentation would be that, you know, when you walk into a room and you've got investors in there, first of all, you might not be even walking into the room yet. This might just be a pitch deck that you're sending over email. And so you really only have like the first 3 slides to really communicate what it is that your problem statement and the solution statement, and really get them to buy into the urgency. So if we could go back to your the second slide, that actually, let's go back to your cover slide if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I really like focusing on the first 3 slides because, like I said, oftentimes investors won't even look at the 4th slide. So I think instead of clean heat made simple, which sounds more consumer facing and sounds like more of like a marketing tagline, I think you should really have like more of an investor hook here. So, you know, it could be maybe we replace fossil fueled heat in factories at 40% less the cost. I think you really need to have some sort of a stat and also some sort of a hook to, like, you know, get the buy-in of the investor to continue looking on through the deck. And then if we could go to your next slide.
Yeah.
I don't even think you need this slide here. I think your next slide should immediately go into the problem statement. I think this is nice to kind of touch on, but I think it wastes the attention of the investor. So like your start date, they're not going to care, to be honest. This is something that can come through like a Q&A later on. I think the mission and vision, I think those are all oftentimes like more you know, grand scheme things. But I think here you should really pay attention to telling your problem statement and then how you're going to solve it. So I would skip the slide and I would go straight to your problem statement. Yanky, sorry, feel free. I feel like I'm kind of just going straight into it. So feel free to
no worries. No worries. I'll piggyback on top of what you're saying. Yeah, just a lot of things that investors don't care about. So you got to take all that out. You only have like 60 seconds or 120 seconds to make a quick impression. Like if I meet you on the street, I'm not going to tell you, you know, oh, I was born in 1975. Right. So get right to the point. And my other biggest issue with the whole presentation is there's no numbers. Like, okay, you're saying you're more efficient. Well, how much more efficient? I have no idea. Are you 10% more efficient? Well, nobody cares about 10% more, right? So if you're saying you're the new technology, it's going to make a big impact. Well, show me the numbers.
I think even here in your problem statement, you've got a great stat here, like 80% of, energy heat still comes from fossil fuels. I think that should be your problem statement. So under challenges we face today, like I would remove that, maybe just put problem at the top left corner. And then your problem statement is, 80% of industrial heat still comes from fossil fuels. Like that's the big statement. And then you've got there's no viable clean alternatives right now. All the other great points that you have there can be, backing that up. The other thing I just wanted to mention was more and more we're now seeing VCs and investors using tools similar to like how recruiters use ATS tools to scan through resumes. Now they're using these types of tools to parse, the decks that land in their emails, and they get like summaries that come out of them. So I think it would be really helpful if you could, for each slide, really label it exactly what it is. So this is the problem statement. So I would label this problem, solution, market size, go to market, etc.
One thing I was confused about throughout the deck is you talk about heat. And when I think solar power, you're collecting energy to, I don't know, charge my car or power my TV. Like, do you just do heat? Or because solar power to me powers many things.
Yeah, this is another kind of industry that provides thermal energy instead of electricity.
So it is a heating product.
The heat, more than 50% of energy that is used in industries is in terms of heat, process heat. For example, high temperature steams, hot oils, hot airs. And when it comes to electricity, yeah, we have some respond to the fossil fuel problem. We have photovoltaic panels, but when it comes to thermal energy, the photovoltaic panels are not efficient, cost efficient. So this is why that the more than 80% of energy used in these industries are still based on rely on fossil fuels.
I also had a question here about like regulatory data, just to kind of set the urgency. Like, I'm not sure in North America, but I do think in Europe they're like banning boilers. So I'm wondering if there's any sort of data that way that can show like the table stakes of, we're moving away from fossil fuels and going into, clean energy. So is there anything that you can pull in terms of regulatory data that could help make that point?
Yeah. There are regulatories like net zero goals until 2050, and also the Paris Agreement that all countries is obligated to reduce the carbon emissions. Yeah, we can mention them in our decks.
Yeah, just to show kind of like the table stakes of, even governments are moving away from this and things are going to get banned soon, and the stakes are kind of high.
I heard many times that the deck should be as concise as possible. So this is why we can provide a deck up to 20 slides, but we eliminated all these information to keep it very concise and focus more on the financing and marketing rather than the technology. But what's your suggestion about this?
I absolutely think that they should be concise, but I think the key things that you should have in there is one, what is the product in plain terms, like explain it to a 10-year-old. Two, what are the table stakes and like why now? So that's why I mentioned like the regulatory bans from boilers, the trajectory that governments are kind of going. And then the third thing is the numbers that Yanky mentioned. So any key, I guess, kind of stats that are alarming or like, not necessarily a clickbaity, but something that could really show that that this problem is, a big problem and it needs to be solved kind of thing. But you're absolutely right. You can get a lot of decks do get carried away with a lot of the stats and the details and the nitty gritty. And you're right to think that you should kind of go away from that because simplicity is oftentimes better. It's just like finding those key things that the investor would want to see. And I think you've got them here. I think it's just a matter of kind of moving them around and getting rid of some of the fluff. Could we go to the market side? Sorry, go ahead, Yanky.
Yeah. So talking about concise, yes, you do have to get to the point. So ideally, your problem and solution slide, one sentence. So we help these customers do this because heat efficiency is a really big problem. It's a $20 billion problem. And in your solution, well, we help them cut costs by $100K a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for both the problem and solution, kind of same idea. If you're able to solve it or mention it in 1 to 2 sentences, that would be great. Personally, I don't mind like a couple of point forms because sometimes it is really hard to capture it in a couple of sentences. But yeah, I look if we could go to the what's after your solution side? The product, right?
This one you can outright delete. Investors don't care.
I think instead of this, because I think there should be something that mentions like how it works in layman's terms. And agree, Yanky. I think sometimes, depending on who you're pitching this to, they might not even look at this. They just really want to know, the numbers, the problem, and the solution. But if you feel like you have a really innovative something that no one else has, I think it is helpful to have some sort of like a, how it works slide. And maybe that's, you capture the sunlight. There's what is this? Like a dual.
Yeah, something you invented that would be awesome. Something patentable that you invented.
Yeah.
Gave us double the energy. That's it. That's what gets them excited.
Yeah.
And then what did you have after the product side here? The market size. Yanky, I'll turn it over to you because you're the numbers guy here.
Yeah, market size, make it really easily digestible, right? So concise means what's the whole market? What's the serviceable, addressable market? Like the typical SAM, SOM, TAM, right? You just need one chart. And remember, the point is not to push as much information as possible. That's not the point. The point is to get them interested so they call you back, right? And if you give them 20 numbers, they're not going to remember any of it. You give them 3 numbers, they might remember, right?
And
so you got to get got to get them excited about like, okay, this is such a big market, it's a big opportunity. A lot of people are waiting for your solution. That's the feeling you're trying to generate.
When I look at the slide as it is right now, I'm unclear as to what industries or geographies you're looking to focus on. Like, I think you need to be a little bit more specific in terms of that. Like Yanky said, like the TAM, SOM, SAM, SOM, like bottoms up figures, just to simplify it.
An investor that, like, if they see a really busy slide or chart like this, you know what they do? They actually just go on their phone, and then you lose their attention.
Okay, what did you have after this? The target market. Okay, so I guess here is where we start to talk about who it is that you're targeting. I think the marketing plan you can I think the target market could be married with your market slide previously, because here's where like the market slide is where you want to talk about, you know, your target market and in terms of dollars and cents, like, you know, how much it encompasses. I don't think you would need a separate slide to go through.
아직 무식한. 야한테 야한테 고장 가면 무식 뭐.
Sorry, I don't think you need a separate slide to go through the marketing with the target market.
나는 사람이 그렇게 했어.
I think if you are to do something, maybe that's a go-to-market slide afterwards. But Yanky, I would love to hear from you. Like, do you find that go-to-market slides are helpful or are they hurtful sometimes? Because at this
go-to-market slides are very useful. I think when you residential and large industries might be like too far away. So really, rather than just concentrate, well, what's happening in the next year and a half? Like, what's your strategy to get your customers? If it's small to medium industries, you know, you have a bunch of different industries there. Maybe pick one first and then get really good at serving them. You know, maybe that's the strategy first. Maybe we are starting in textiles and we're going to dominate all the textile medium businesses. Right. So really have a plan of execution and try to explain that in a very summarized way. I would say like this is too much. And you might give people the impression you don't know who's going to buy the product. And we're just trying different things. So I would say like just focus the next year and a half. Like what's the plan? You know?
And then what did you have after this? My question here is what are you hoping to have the audience walk away with this slide?
The benchmark is for investors to know that the companies like ours, what is their value in the market right now?
Right. I think instead of having the benchmark slide, I would maybe put like a business model slide in and explain, you know, how you're like, is it hardware sales that you're going after? Are you guys going to be charging for like installation? What are the revenue sources? I'm not sure if maybe you address that later, but I think at this stage and I don't know, Yanky, maybe you disagree, but I think at this stage in the game, you don't need to, maybe this is like a competitive matrix instead, but I think they will immediately be like, okay, well, like, yeah, you can throw up $1 billion and 300 million, $4.5 billion numbers up there, but how does it relate back to, you know, the startup that you're, you know, creating? So I personally am not a huge fan of the benchmarks. I think it just goes back to like the market side.
Yeah, the benchmarks works best when you have comparables. So I'm going to take the last line here, 60 to 90 million, Alberg, right? When you make as much revenue as Alberg does, then compare.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You see how that makes sense, right? I would like to know more about the competitive landscape. And when you say, you know, you're in heat for like medium industries, maybe they're in manufacturing, you know, your solution might replace a coal or fossil fuel alternative out there, right? So I would say companies are using this, but with us, they get this much more benefit. And then that's a competitive comparable that I prefer to see.
You want to go to the next one? Yanky, I'll let you take this one too.
Okay. Firstly, you know, if you have a graph, it has to be huge. The senior at the back of the audience cannot see this.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta make your numbers big, right? Um, this should kind of relate to your go-to-market slide, right? Because you kind of connect the strategy to, well, this is where our revenues will come from. Just remove all the information about extract real data, scale. Like investors don't care about that. They're asked. You would rather say, you know what? We have these 3 potential pilots that are happening next month, right? That's exciting. The steps you're gonna do is not really.
I agree with Yanky. I think sometimes like the financial roadmap, I think the value is helpful. But I think this is all kind of, investors look at this as just speculation a lot of the time. So I'm not like a huge fan of I think it's good to get a sense of like, what you're projecting. But I wouldn't give it too much attention. And then I also, if you're going to do like a graph, I would pick a lane, like either, I'm not really sure what the, so it looks like you've got like the valuation, and then underneath, is this like the ask, the investment ask?
The spending allocation, I think. Right?
Okay, gotcha. So I would personally put the ask on a separate page, because I think you should be really clear. You're looking for like 660 USD to, and then like your use of funds, just to make it really clear. Because right here, there's like a lot of information that I'm looking at, and it's hard to decipher, the ask versus, your roadmap, etc. And then what was how many slides is this in total? Just so I have the context.
It's 10 slides.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and instead of valuation, revenues, right? Like that's what should be. That's what gets people excited, right? Evaluation, it's very subjective sometimes.
Before we go to the team side, Mohammed, I'm not sure in terms of like the traction that you guys have. Right now, it's kind of missing, and I do think that if you do have some sort of traction, whether it be like patents or regulatory things or anything of substance,
Pilots.
It might, pilots, also like customers. I think that might be worth showing. If you don't have much in terms of traction, then yeah, you can leave it off. But like, are you guys looking into any grants, any awards? Like, do you guys have any letters of intent from anyone? Anything like that might be worth mentioning.
In which slide should we bring the tractions in product description?
Traction.
I've seen it in its own slide. Like, most of the decks that I look at are usually 12 to 14 slides. And even that is a concise deck. I think here you've got 10 slides, which is awesome, but you're packing a lot of information into those. So I think if you're even able to like space them out and really talk about one thing per slide, it would be helpful.
Yeah. Because some investors that I going to apply for has some limits. For example, 8 slide maximum, 9 slide, 10 slides. And in these 10 slides, all this information will be packed. This is a problem. Yeah.
Well, remember, like, it's not about pushing as much information as possible. It's getting them to call you back. So you can say, this is a big problem. I can fix it. These are my customers. We're going to make a lot of money. They're going to call you back. That's it. Right?
Yeah.
4 slides right there.
Yeah. So anything else?
Not for this one. We can go to your team side. Okay. It looks like you don't have your titles here of like, I guess you do CEO, COO. I think maybe just having like like at least a 1 point or 1 sentence descriptor of like, engineer 10 plus years in solar R&D, or, 7 years in clean energy marketing, or any highlights of companies that successful like companies that people have worked at, just to show that like why you guys are the team to do this. Would be helpful, because right now seeing a picture and a name, it doesn't really give me much information. And as an investor, I'm not going to go and look you up on LinkedIn because I don't have the time for that.
Agree.
And I think this should be its own team slide, and you should write team at the top, and then you can have a closing content slide. Mohammed, kudos to you. This is very hard to get this much information in one meeting. So I tip my hat off to you, because it's hard to get feedback. And I think especially when it comes to pitch decks, there's so many opinions. And like, you can send this to one person, they'll tell you one thing. You can send it to another person, they'll tell you another thing. And even investors, like if you're going towards like clean energy tech investors, you might want to change things up from like a generalist investor. So it is really hard navigating it. So I give you props.
Yeah. Again, I'll reiterate that point. The hardest part of DEX is reducing. So it's not an easy task.
Yeah. Thank you guys for great feedbacks.
Yeah, no problem. And I mentioned this to Daryush, but I'm happy to help you with design, like free of charge. So if you want to send over, like if you can connect us or connect with me on LinkedIn, I'd be happy to help you with like design and implement some of these changes if you'd like.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks, Sabina. Okay, you're done, Sabina, Yanky. Okay, Simo, do you have any feedback or questions?
Yeah,
Please go
for
ahead.
sure. Yeah, thank you very much. So it was quite interesting, and I like the Sabina and Yanky's comments. That was all great, very good. I like the name of your company, Tooloo. I guess is stand for sunrise in Persian, or was it something else? No, I thought it was sunrise.
Yeah, just similar in pronunciation.
It sounds nice.
Okay, it sounds actually it's a unique name, so that's very nice. So few things I like to see is the patent, where you have filed a patent, which stage the patent is, and also the prototype. If you have a prototype, if you have a product that's ready to test, if you have been, I assume you have been tested that, and also how much to cost, the cost of the product. So if I have a house, I want to buy your product, how much potentially your product would cost me compared to what I have at this moment, So I guess you can use it for heating water, right? So that's something, one of the options we could use that. So this is something, it would be interesting. In Canada, especially all the cold. So these are areas that I'm interested to know how much it costs to manufacture the product, and also the after sale services. For example, for heat water, you can buy or rent the heat water at home, and then you have to pay monthly fee for services. So this is something that again it's important for investor, because that's something that the money, the revenue that's coming in, right? So these are all things that are important. It's I think the technical part, I like to see that. I know the investor I work with, they know they want to see the technical part, because for people that are familiar with this type of technology, they know what is missing, and they want to know what's your product is different from what's available in the market. So that's something that we want to know. And also, I wasn't sure the number you had for China. I thought China has the largest solar energy kind of. So I wasn't. Is that correct that they are in million, and then Saudi Arabia is in billion? It doesn't. I mean, I'm not an expert in this area, but I guess so. So I don't know. That's it. Is that correct?
This is not the entire solar energy industry. It is specifically concentrated solar power industry. CSP industries is called. Yeah. And the benchmarks were not about the entire countries. It was about the companies in this industry.
Okay. All right. Okay. So are you planning? So I realize you are registering in Canada, the company.
It's registered in Canada, yes.
Okay,
My
so
co-founders are in Canada right now.
Oh, okay, I see, I understand. So you want to apply for funding in Canada, right? So there are a few,
Yes.
I mean, if you want to connect later, there are a few agencies that you can apply for funding there. Some of them I'm a expert reviewer, so I know which one of them you can actually apply to.
Thank you.
So yeah, that was a great presentation. Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess I would also add as a CEO of a technology company, just be very careful of having the mindset of if you build it, then people will buy it. Like, just be careful about that because it's not about what you want to build; it's about what's on demand in the market, right? So if you can get enough people to say, "Whoa, your solution will really help," if you build it, I'll pay you, and you can get that in writing, then you know you're on your way.
Great.
Thank you, everyone. Any other questions or comments? Nothing. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for joining us at session 9, and hopefully we will plan for the following sessions. And I hope that you accompany us in judging in other sessions and participating, and also in Summit 4. We are looking for you. Reza has a comment, or just say thank you? Yeah, yes, just say thank you. Thank you, Reza. Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening. Bye.
Have a good night, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good night. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.